Returning to the Victorian bushfire recovery effort now, and as the bushfires continue to burn, emergency services have been trying to get an idea of the damage caused to homes and properties across the state.
Farmers are among those who have not only had their homes damaged, of course, but their livelihoods too, through stock feed and crop losses. Mike Boyd is the Manager of Biosecurity and Emergencies at the Department of Primary Industries, and he joins us now from the CFA headquarters in Melbourne. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us, Mike Boyd. Tell us what the DPI's role is in the clean-up operation and the inspection operations that now take place.
Well, DPI does a number of things. It actually assists DSE in its firefighting operations, and we still have about 100 people out there each day assisting DSE in controlling the fires. But once the fires are past and it's safe to go in, we were able to send our teams in to firstly have a look at any animals that need assistance. We may be involved in some destruction of animals or caring for them over a period of time. And secondly, we do the loss and damage assessment that's needed for governments to work out what sort of assistance packages are required in the future.
And at this early stage, can you say broadly what the stock losses have been from these fires?
We've been relatively fortunate. The stock losses haven't been as severe as some. We've had a lot of small farms around the sides of the bush in these areas, and they've been reasonably able to get their stock into protected areas. So livestock losses aren't high, but there are 5,000 properties that have been affected by these fires, and it's going to take us at least 2 months to get around to all of those.
Yes, of course, because I'm sure many of these farmers and the like have lost the homes that they live in, as well as all their outbuildings and sheds and the like, which is going to be a very difficult recovery process. But what about crop losses? Has the season, which I know has been hard hit by drought anyway, has that been damaged irreparably by the smoke and by the fires?
The crops that were there had been harvested generally, and the main cropping area that was affected was around Horsham. So mostly it's been pastures, bushland around the properties, and certainly fencing. Fencing is always severely damaged in these fires. So once you get over the trauma of the personal loss, it takes many, many years for these properties to recover. And we've been fortunate to be able to put together a little booklet called Recovery After Fire, that assists people in their planning and their thinking in terms of how to move forward from this time on. It's a very traumatic time, and we really spend quite a bit of time over the next 3 years assisting them in actually planning for their future.
Mike Boyd, I understand a staggering number of these rural properties and farms were not insured. Does that surprise you, and what follows from that?
We don't actually have a lot of information to say people are uninsured. We know that lots of people are insured, and we encourage them to do so. Much of our programs, including referenced in this book here, encourage people to have proper insurance cover, and that's just an essential if you're in rural Victoria.
But if they don't, even with all the assistance being offered federally and from the state government, will they be able to get back up on their feet and return to the land?
Much more difficult for people if they haven't protected themselves through insurance, but there is obviously a lot of support out there. Fencing, for example, there are a lot of volunteers who go along and assist people put their fences up again. So in the short term, certainly there's assistance there to make sure people and their livestock and their properties survive. In the longer term, we'd be assisting them in the business planning program too. And that would include having good insurance in the future.
Mike Boyd, good to talk to you, and all the best with the program that you're running there.
Thank you.